Yeah, so hopefully it was just some kind of luck spike. Strange one. Usually doesn't really repeat itself all that much. And here we see the gods, and oh, we actually see quite a lot of difference in here. Oh well, this is going to be fun. We see TSMs using something else than Double Zeus and Oranos in this lineup. Well, take a screenshot because this is something very special indeed. Very special indeed. So let's see the gods. We have TSM's Fenas Oranos. The next one, Atlantis, is Oranos as well. That's the only one playing his main god. Variance player is playing Loki. And for Absolats, we have 9 Racing Cat playing Kronos, that's his main as well. But then Ayak is Oranos and Kiryuda is Loki. So they've chosen very similar strategies, and just the Kronos and Oranos are a difference. But well, let's go back into the game and see how it plays out. The map itself is interesting also in the fact that it's basically similar to Megalopolis, as all 3 players from one team are very close to each other. You can see that they are basically in one base, which makes it kind of easier to defend. And well, it also means that you are not susceptible to any kind of early raiding. And with this very nice monument in here, lion statue, we are basically going to be heading into, I would be expecting some kind of early, I would be guessing slight booming and advancing through Heroic Age, and then strong advance onto Migdols in the middle. That is the first goal. Let's see if he's going to be shot at by some of the Migdols, or if he's lucky. Probably lucky so far, as the Migdol will be somewhere around here. But, well, in the meantime, what's also important to notice is that each of the players is actually having a big gold mine. You don't have just the 3000 gold mine, but all the way to 6,000, which is also a pretty huge help, and it's also because, obviously, the other gold mines are not that easy to gather from. Otherwise, sometimes the spawns are kinda closed because of the wood lines, but so far it doesn't seem to be the case in here, at least for Absolats that are spawned on the left side, whereas for TSMs, it's slightly better, because this tree line in front of the yellow player is very nice for defense, but at the same time it's not really ideal through the gold in here. But since it's very close to both Atlantis and player, it shouldn't be all that much of a problem to defend for them. First relic in the middle, right next to the zebras in here, and that's better built-in hit points. Better built-in hit points, that's going to be of course very useful. Otherwise, another relic is at the bottom for Absolats, and it's better. Oh, wood and gold get rates. Oh, that's definitely going to help quite a lot. And let's see other relics in here on the map. Gold trickle, it's of course going to help as well. And cheaper, or rather faster myth unit training time. That's not bad. That could be useful, especially for the Lokis in here. So let's see how this is going to develop for them. So far they are having kind of luck, as they are not encountering and losing all that many units to the Bandit Migdol. You can see how it's guarding the gold in here in the middle, whereas the TC placements, 3 at the back for TSMs. Oh, this is very nicely guarded through the tree line, so that's going to be very nice and secure for Fen, whereas 3, 1, 2, 3, and oh yeah, it almost seems like that Absolats are not really in luck, as they are having one of the TCs, probably this one, we could be considering theirs, in very close proximity to their opponent, so they might be forced a bit to go into the offensive, but I'm not really thinking that this should be something that will be deciding the game all that much. We are at 3 minutes, so we will be seeing how they will be developing with the game in here, as player is aiming for something like possibly 430 advance, whereas Isla in the middle Atlantis pretty much the same, and the same could be said about Fen on the right side. So they seem to be pretty much nicely synchronized, whereas for the opponents, a red player is so far not dropping even a tempo. The pocket player is already in, as he is clicking to Forseti. Oh, that seems a pretty decent advance time, but this is really curious. Is he actually slinging into the guys in here? Oh, he's going for a second TC. Okay, so he's going for Arcade TC, which is not a bad choice, because obviously, as I've said a bit earlier, this map is kinda, yeah, conducive to actually defend defensive play, and that could be something a bit of a surprise to their opponents, because obviously, since the map is also pretty large, you can see the distance between the teams is very big, so it's not going to be all that easy to raid all that much. This could be a pretty big advantage for Absolats, and really, this could be worth it. The later advance for him and having a better economy than his opponent. So, interesting strategy. We already see, oh, a very aggressive play actually. As I said, that it's a defensive map. Oh yeah, Nine Racing Cat is going for the exact opposite. He's right now seeing these villages on the wood line, but those wood line villages definitely do not see the Oracle. They're not seeing this temple from cheeky Nine Racing Cat. So let's see how well this is going to go for him. Now he's going to be given up the position, unfortunately, but it shouldn't really matter all that much. Because this should be a pretty big surprise to TSMs as they are not prepared for this at all. And yeah, you can already see that TSM player is in a bit of a problems in here. So yeah, this is going to be Oracle. Oh, that's a pretty bad play by Nine Racing, to be honest. Losing a Valor Oracle in here that easily, well, that definitely sucks. And the second one should be that pretty soon as well. Especially if Atlantis actually killed this correctly. And I'm not exactly sure where he's going. He's basically sacrificing, and he has basically wasted one of his god powers, which is definitely something he did not want to do. And I'm really confused what was the game plan behind this. As obviously this is going to put a stop to his aggression altogether. You can see that he's already moving somewhere else, and this is just a sheep, another goat. And he is returning back home, basically recognizing that this is not going to be a good attempt by him at all. So yeah, this is basically plan backfiring for Absolats. So that's basically a bonus point for the SMs. And well, this guy is also not going to survive. So very nice defense by Fen, even though he is under spy and will have to be careful about what is going to happen sometime soon. Kiludai moving already into the offensive with the Hersiers. Looking at this TC is also slightly unfortunate for Absolats, because when you look at this, it's going to be quite hard to actually run away from if it's under attack, and obviously this is very open to opponents' attack. So yeah, they definitely have to be very careful, Absolats, if they actually want to take control of it altogether. So yeah, some first relics actually being gathered, whereas Fan has amassed enough army and is right now going into the offensive, and will be hoping that through the right side around the forest he will be able to raid his opponent, potentially here, but I don't really expect that to be the case at all. Possibly here, as Fan is already having a line of sight in here, so that's exactly the reason why he's moving in there with this army, whereas in the middle we don't see really all that much happening, just military buildings prepare, a bit of a radiant army with wall knights, and we see also a bit of a skirmish in the middle, as Kiluda is also moving in to wall himself in. This is actually a very nice pocket for the Turmas. That could quite nicely allow them to get rid of any kind of Murmilos or even the heresies from his opponents, but well, let's have a look somewhere else. As player is also entering the base of his opponent, and he's trying to find something to kill, but fortunately for Absolas, he's not finding anything at all. You can see even the one Ornolf Icicle Tracker trying to find something in here, but yeah, of course, fighting against a Murmil is not going to work for you all that much, and with very nice micro and nice planning by Nine Racing Cat, this guy is going to be entering Valhalla very, very soon. So Healing Spring cast, not exactly sure where, not exactly sure. We're going to be seeing some time later. And Atlantis is moving in for the second TC because he is basically recognizing that there's not going to be all that much Radiant with the Gold Trickle Relic at the very back. And yeah, this is exactly the Radiant that we were talking about a bit earlier, and Fan is moving there very nicely. You can see that he's sending reinforcements through the right side of the wall. Along the wall of the map, and this is very nicely played. And yeah, he's basically missing all the potential spots that Absolats could be seeing him, and well, this is doing a pretty good job for him. So shockwaves being cast with reinforcements from Fen. Are they going to be arriving in time? They're probably not going to be even needed. And this is very important for TSMs because Absolats, and especially Kiluda, is losing food source and is probably going to lose the Ox cart as well. Going to be just one hit from Turmas. And he's trying to hit. This one is definitely trying to hit the Oxcar, but he's not having any kind of luck. And right now he needs to go somewhere else because obviously the help from Kiludai to his villagers has finally gotten into place. But with the reinforcement from Fen as well, it might not be all that easy as he's probably thinking, because this is pretty decent army by Fen, and this wall is probably not going to be finished. You'll be seeing very soon. what's going to happen, but let's have a look on the left side where the TSM player is already having a pretty decent army of Hersiers, and he's definitely, oh, yeah, importance of, oh my, that was a clutch hit by this troll. This was a very nicely placed wall, basically exactly the reason why you build it, to allow your villagers or even army to retreat from offensive army that is stronger than yours. And well, if it wasn't for the troll, the villager would be retreating, but so far he wasn't in luck in here. So the SM player is seeing exactly this problem, trying to get rid of the boss so that he isn't caught off guard anytime soon yet again, but he's probably going to be forced to retreat as this army is pretty strong from an Iron Racing Cat, and I'm not expecting that player would be interested in killing it, or rather engaging it. Right now he is at least slightly delaying the DC, which is also important as 9 Racing Cat won't be able to boom as well as his opponent, whereas in the middle we see a bit of an engagement between Atlantis and Ayach. Ayach kinda decides that even though he's having two TCs far longer than Atlantis, that he doesn't have enough army to engage fully, and look at how he's basically full Turma. Just two Prometheans in here, not any kind of problem obviously, with military barracks, by Fen and whatnot. And his army actually in here for some pretty nice trading. I'm just going to finish with Ayach having just Turmas. It's kinda interesting choice, but it's basically telling you that he doesn't want to waste all that many resources and wants to basically hurry up into the next age, and that's probably going to be happening sometime soon. Meanwhile, he is of course losing 2-3 villages. Wow, good trading by Fen, pretty good trading indeed. Otherwise, on the right side, player is trying to finish with the wall as Loki, so yeah, this seems like it will be finished. And to be honest, it almost seems like that actually TSM's yet another villager dead for red. Oh, that's actually a pretty big problem for him, because he has lost 4 villagers in a span of like 30 seconds. And that will definitely dampen his boom quite a lot, and that's a pretty big problem for Absolats all the way through a late game. Radiant still going on from the red player, or rather yellow player, as all the players are at 2 TCs. That's so far nicely played in here, and he is disrupting the economy of his opponent quite nicely, even though he is not advancing it to the next age yet, it seems. I'm just going to be checking real quick if somebody's attempting to do so. So far doesn't seem like that will be the case, even though you can see Thea is already in, and yeah, he is already housed, so that's exactly the reason why you actually want to go. And oh well, Red actually wasn't paying enough attention, so it's going to be costing him 5th villager. 5th villager at this early stage of the game, and yeah, even though he has built this early TC in the Archaic, it's probably going to be basically wasted, because he has lost 5 villages, which is basically the advantage that he was getting through this early build, and well, that's definitely a big problem for him for the game to come. Yeah, trying to steal, or rather steal, and to gather the relic for the better wood and gold gather raids. Whereas there's also a bit of raiding by Ayach, who is just now advancing into the next age as the first player of all with his Turmas, and he has, yet again, killed villagers, so pretty good raiding, and will he be able to kill something else? I'm not exactly sure, or yeah, right now I'm positive that he won't, because of the birdie and the Murmills with the extra TC fire by Fen, but of course, oh, I've actually missed him advancing to the next age. That should have, that was probably sometime around the advance of Ayach as well, and he's already clicking into Hecate, and that's pretty decent advance with Thea for the teal player as well, whereas yellow is not advancing, and red is not advancing either, so this seems like pretty nicely played so far by TSMs, as they will be having the advantage in ages, and quite a strong one, because you can see that 9 Racing Cat and Kiludai are not advancing into the next ages, whereas for yeah, TSMs, they will be in Mythic and Heroic, so that's a pretty good job by them, and pretty strong army in the middle by Atlantis, and drain the opponent's base. So Spirits tree is going to be helping with Dryads quite nicely. So let's see about this. Well, probably not going to be all that much important for him. So I'm kind of thinking, I haven't finished the thought a bit earlier, that TSMs have probably recognized through scouting the map that they are having a favorable positioning of the DCs, and they should be really careful about this. And well, yeah, this is why 9 Racing Cat actually went for the Kronos to deconstruct all those Migdals in here in the middle. So that's very nicely played. He has right now just rescued basically 3 gold mines, but he should be following with some kind of, I don't know. Well, they don't have anybody in the heroic, just actually the red player. So if he was to build some kind of Migdal or other palace, Migdal of course not, because we don't have any kind of Egyptians in this game, he would be securing the gold in here, and he definitely needs to do that, because if he doesn't, it's basically freeway for his opponents, and TSM player is already moving in here, and he's kind of thinking that this would be a pretty sweet spot, exactly because of the TC, and yeah, he doesn't know about these golds being rescued, and finally, Nine Racing is recognizing that he needs to do a bit more to secure this position, both the gold and the TC as well. So player right now retreating with Fen, trying to secure 30C on the right side with the Volin as well. But oh well, careful with the Verdi, so that you are not caught off guard. And he seems to be aiming for the gold himself through the assault of the destroyers. Oh, it's going to be very easy for him to take down, so let's have a look somewhere else. Where the most, or rather strongest offensive seems to be going through the middle, as Atlantis is very nicely boomed and he wasn't ready at all. So that's kinda, he's in the same position as Ayak from Absolats. You can see the pretty big difference in the score actually, as Ayak is having by 400 more. I would be guessing it's because of economy, but yes, lost so many villagers. I'm kinda thinking it's just kinda chimera, and it's not really all that true so far. So let's have a look at some upgrades. You can see already heavy Turmas, not any kind of military upgrades, but we have copper weapons, though just medium Turmas for Atlantis, whereas we don't see all that much for the blue player. Copper shields, of course, against Turmas, that's pretty nicely played. And looking at somewhere else, Nine Racing Cat is actually trying to take the battle to his opponent, and he's doing a pretty good job because Atlantis is engaged in the middle, trying to steal TC from his opponent. That's again the problem because of being cut out by the forest, which is basically a pretty big help for Atlantis, especially once he played it quite nicely with the palace helping him himself in the position in here. But I'm kind of afraid for him that he will need extra help, which is exactly coming in from Fen. Let's have a look at his military upgrades. Absolutely nothing. Whereas purple, can we catch him? Oh, actually absolutely nothing. Even more nothing, if you can actually say that, than Fen. But well, this is a very important battle right now, because if Absolats cannot stop this, they've already lost the TC. They are in pretty deep trouble, because they are denied TCs. You can see all 3 TSMs at 3 TCs, whereas Absolats are at 2, and they don't have really free TCs. Only 9 Racing Cat is having 1 on the left. Right now he's trying to take it, and there's 1 free in the middle. Basically, we could be saying that it's actually in Fen's power, because we don't see anything for miles by Absolats, whereas there's 1 free at the back, but it's basically in power of a player, and he will be advancing into 4 TCs reasonably soon, I would be expecting. So important battle happening in here, and it seems like that TSMs are doing a pretty good job, as they were having pretty much nice composition, as yeah, this was a bit of a problem, as Ayak was having quite a lot of Turmas, and obviously once you are facing quite a lot of destroyers, that's not going to help at all. Okay, so there's engagement right now broken off, but yet again the damage to the basically whole game plan has been dealt, as the same players right now are advancing through hell, and yeah, looking at all the other players, just 2 TSMs are mythical age, whereas Atlet Ayak is the first from the opponent team. You can see a bit of a raiding by Fen in the middle of the opponent's base, with also Fen or other player at the back taking the 4th TC, so it's going to be a pretty strong play from him, and he's even aiming to actually steal the one from 9 Racing Cat, so he has stopped them quite successfully, and that's basically because he's fighting 3 TCs versus 2, and I would be expecting that he won't be giving it up anytime soon, and it almost seems like that actually 9 Racing Cat will be needing the help that is already arriving from Kill You Die, and well, oh, that's a lot of fillies actually, and they are probably going for the TC, but careful. This is no safe zone for you. This is no safe zone at all. Oh my. And come on, sending so many villagers into Nidhogg. There is 1 manor, so you can potentially go there, but this is a massacre. Oh my god. That's 2nd villager dead, and that's going to be all 3 dead as well. Oh my. Oh my, what have you done? What have you done? You have just lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 villagers. That's like a GG right there, isn't it? I'm not exactly sure how Ajax can get back from this. Man. Oh man. Just look at all those corpses of the donkeys. Well, at any rate, player is right now securing the position with Fan going for the Titan Gate quite safely in here because he is already gathering the extra TC in the forefront, and yet this really seems like the TSMs have chosen the better strategy and they are definitely owning this game. Oh well, quite well played, even though there is a bit of an attempt in the middle of Lat Ajax fighting Atlantis in here next to the goal, trying to force him off this gold mine, but that's probably not going to finish the way he would want to, especially with the help from Fan. And really, the big blow that he has actually been suffering on the left, he's probably going to lose yet another villager in here. At least one, if not all three of them, because they are right now just, yeah, staying in places. So this is a big graveyard of donkeys together with citizens in here, and oh well, yeah, yet another dead. So that's 2 extra, that's like 8 villages dead right here. Right here, and here we are in for a bit of an idiot fight, but that's unfortunately not going to be seen in here, as yeah, Absoluts are right now recognizing that they are not going to be able to turn this game around, and TSMs are leading and winning the first game. So very good job, nicely played, very nice surprise that they did not pick this, the double Zeus with Oranos, and well, they really played quite well. Yeah, TCs were bad, but to be honest, that was not what lost the game. I agree that TTCs weren't ideal at all, but yet again, I have to repeat, this absolutely wasn't the reason that they have lost the game. TSM just outplayed them from the very beginning. Not sure exactly why, but it seemed like that the double TC in their archive wasn't the correct choice, as it basically allowed TSMs to be slightly more aggressive, and it basically paid off because they were able to control the map. Overall, they probably chose the nice strategy, or rather better strategy in the game overall. Yeah, player, exactly. When you know that the TCs are not ideal, you need to play according to it and not just play as you do all the time and then be disappointed that it doesn't work out. But yet again, I have to say, even though they were sucky, they weren't the reason why TSMs won. TSMs basically just outplayed Absoluts in this map. And Ajax was losing villages in absolutely humongous numbers across the game. He is just finishing at 31, which is not all that bad, but we're going to be seeing this a bit later. The graphs. Atlantis was playing really well. The pocket player. That wasn't half bad from him. So let's have a look at the civilians. Yeah, this is the first Radiant that he has lost like 4 villages in here. To the pretty heavy Radiant, and right now, yep. Ah, that was costly drop, especially for an Atlantean. Alright then, GG.